it's Michelle from Scrap Secrets. I'm here with another Sketch Sunday video. I'll show you what the sketch looks like. This is the sketch. It's from My Favorite Things. It's their new blog challenge for this week. They run from Wednesday to Tuesday, and Tuesday they pick a winner. So that is the sketch that I'm going to do. So I have a baby boy card that I need to make for one of my old coworkers. So I went through my stash and I picked out some things that I thought would work. This Die Cuts with a View Nana's Nursery Baby Boy collection. I picked out the pattern paper from it. This is the one that I picked. And then the blue that I picked was a piece of Recollections paper, and this comes in a big 12 by 12 stack of all blue shades of blue. I picked that. I die cut the circle out from one of the Nestabilities circle dies. So it's one of the medium-sized ones. I cut that out of white cardstock already because I didn't feel like dragging my Cuttlebug downstairs. So that's that. The stamp set that I'm going to use is a My Favorite Things stamp set. It's called Beautiful Baby, and I'm not sure what sentiment I'm going to use yet. There's this one, Welcome Baby, and then I took out the boy sentiment because I thought I'd either say Welcome Baby Boy or Beautiful Baby Boy. So it's one of the things, that's the stamp set I'm going to use. I also have a bunch of die cut stars. There's a green one in here that kind of coordinates with the green that's in the pattern paper, so I thought that I would use that. The ink that I'm going to use is Distress Ink Stormy Sky, and then I have my ink blending tool. And I'm going to be using my Zig 2A glue pen, my Quick Stick pick-me-up, or my pick-me-up stick from Silhouette, and my ATG gun. So let's get started. The first thing that I did was cut the pattern paper down. Now, I have never done a card on an angle like this, so I was unsure of how to do it, so I actually made several cuts and I was back and forth. So how I did it is because you can do these with My Favorite Things Blueprints Dynamics. I don't have any of them. I know one of the latest collections they came out with has a really cool background that'll do the cuts on an angle like this, but since I didn't have that, I kind of had to try to play around with a couple things. So I cut this piece. I'm putting a border around the card. I'm using a pre-made white card base, which is 4 by 5.5. So I wanted a 1/4 of an inch border around everything. So I cut this to 3 3/4, and then I think I cut it to 4 inches long. I think that was it, 4 inches long. And then I took a piece of the blue paper and I cut it down to the same size, the same width, so 3 3/4. Then what I did was, I think it was about 5 inches tall. And then I kind of made one mark on one end and one mark up a little bit higher, kind of like how I would like to do the diagonal. And then I took my paper trimmer and then I put those edges in the trimmer, put the paper sideways and put both of the edges so that they lined up, and then cut down. And then I actually trimmed the piece down to the appropriate size. So it is, I can tell you real quick, it is 3 3/4 by, let's see how it is, 3 3/4. So it looks like it's a perfect square, 3 3/4. Yep. Okay. So it's a perfect square, 3 3/4, and then with the diagonal. So now what I'm going to try to do is make sure my card is facing the right way when I open it, and I'm going to adhere the pieces down. So the first thing I'm going to want to do is kind of eyeball it and see where I need to have these pieces glued together. So it's about right here, looks about right. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put some Zig 2A down here and glue that in place. And then while that side is drying, I'm just going to kind of draw a line and put some glue down here. Since it's glitter paper, I'm not sure how well the Zig is actually going to hold, so maybe this might just do it temporarily, and then I will actually probably go back with my ATG gun. Let's see how that looks. That's a little bit too, a little bit too long. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm gonna just draw a line with my ATG gun, and then I can go back and adjust it to where it needs to be. Again, these are just completely eyeballed measurements. If you like things to be exact, then you can use a ruler, but I'm not one of those people who needs everything to be exact. Just kind of like to eyeball. Okay, so there's my background piece for that. Okay, now I'm going to put that to the side, and I'm going to take my circle, and I'm going to figure out which one. I think what I'm going to do is welcome baby, and then I'm going to try to stamp. I don't think I'm going to stamp boy. I think I'm just going to say welcome baby. Now I've never used this stamp before, so I'm going to take a piece of scratch paper and make sure that it stamps. Try another stamp because it. Okay. I'm actually going to move the stamp to the middle of my block. Sometimes that helps with a little bit more even pressure. So I'm going to ink my stamp up again. And I'm going to try to put it in the middle of the circle. And there you go. There's the welcome baby. I don't know, can you see that? There we go. Distress ink never stamps perfectly. Okay, so now I'm going to use my ink blending tool, and I'm going to go around the edges just to give it a little bit more dimension. I'll show you as soon as I'm done how that looks. Because I used the magnetic plate that I have, it actually puts a ridge in there as well. So this kind of helps it stand out. Let's see if you guys can see that. Okay. Here it is with the distress ink around it, and can you see that ridge right by my middle finger right there? So there we go. Alright, so I have those elements. So that is going to go right here. Now for the stripes. I didn't know what I wanted to do, so I thought that I would actually, so I don't lose that, take the distress ink with a scratch piece of paper and just kind of color this white piece of cardstock with this blue, and then cut it into strips, and then I could use that. I could go direct to paper, but I like the look that it gets when you actually use the sponging tool, ink blender. Now I'm going to need these lines to go all down the page, so long enough? Yep, that's long enough. So I don't have to worry about that now. Okay. I just want to make sure the ink is up so it doesn't get on the back of my card. So I'm going to cut it at 5 1/4 because it's 5 1/2, and I did 1/2 inch. So I'm going to do 5 1/2, and then take the other 1/4 inch from that end. Okay. So now the edges are a little frayed, so I'm just going to go back with some distress ink and make sure that they're all white. And the same thing's going to happen when I cut this in half. So it's 1 inch, so I'm going to do 1/2 inch, 2 1/2 inch strips. So then going to have to do the same thing with the middle. Just go back with the ink blending tool and cover up the white core. And the same with the other one. Okay, and put that aside. And now we can assemble the card. So we're going to take the ATG gun, and adhere the front piece down to the front of the card base. Put 2 stripes. I'm just going to run the distress tool over it one more time. Seems to have frayed a little bit. They look like they're just a little bit too short. Just want to double check with the sketch and make sure that it's looking right. So this is what the sketch looks like again. It doesn't have to be exact. So to run ATG. ATG tape's hard when you're doing little strips like this. There we go. And then the welcome baby on there. We'll take just a little green star in here, and I will put it right there. And there you go, the card's finished. So this is the card for the My Favorite Things sketch challenge for this week. So I want to thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them below. And if you're not a subscriber, feel free to subscribe. I'd love to hear what you guys think, and I will see you again for another Sketch Sunday. Bye guys!